She's April.
And she's Molly.
And we are
the Book Besties. I just want to know the mechanics of somebody swallowing someone's balls under the water in a hot tub.
That's not a soft coffee?
I'm fucking done now.
My hummingbird's back.
I'm pretty sure he's part lizard.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Because men are stupid, Molly.
Murder over math. I know, my God. And you know what? It's not even like con hangover. We're just exhausted.
I'm in the middle of my 7-day stretch, so I'm so burned out.
And the only thing I can freaking... Okay, so I listened to this week's episode coming up. The con episode, okay?
Episode the week before.
Right. The week that's already...
Right.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Listen to the con episode at this point, Molly.
I hope so. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff, okay? Wayne's World, whatever. Okay, so I'm listening to that as I'm going through that. The only thing I'm thinking about is how I told Anthony Mara about my bootleg book, and he keeps bringing it up about how interesting it is.
We've got receipts if he writes one.
It's just, he was too interested. Anthony, I don't know you. Just please don't steal my book. Please don't steal my book.
We have receipts. It's fine.
I mean, I have proof. I wrote my idea first, but like, my guy. We didn't even talk about his book. We talked about Jurassic Park and like my book. And I'm like,
I haven't actually even listened to the con episode as of this film.
Sorry, I took care of it.
I have been busy because I'm on my 7-day stretch. So what I'm talking about for our listeners, the library where I work is open 7 days a week. And so when it's your weekend, you work Saturday through Friday. So
it's fun for the whole family.
And my hips start hurting and I start falling asleep the second I walk in the door.
Because they keep it so warm.
It's also when I start doing things like Lego. That's what all my Lego projects have been part of. Like I have little Lego projects on my desk right now too. And I currently have started a random new hobby of diamond art. So that's this. I don't know, Molly. I'm just trying to find something to control. There's a monster in my brain that controls my doubts.
I'm doubting this book.
This book. I have a library edition because I actually own this on my Kindle. So
I bought this years ago.
Edition.
Years ago when we were supposed to read it for group, and then we never read it.
Well, I read it.
I didn't read it.
I have it on my Kindle, so I borrowed my library's copy. So
this is the soft copy. The soft copy.
It's called paperback.
Soft coffee, I called it. That's not a soft coffee?
Fuck.
Soft coffee.
Nowhere near. That's nowhere near correct. I think this was probably the original cover.
It's pretty. It's shiny. This one's shiny too.
This might be the first print. Let's see. Yeah,
I have to say I complained a lot about this book while I was listening to it.
2013. I didn't listen to the audiobook. I read this one.
I complained a lot while listening.
Okay, so let me give a synopsis, and then we can go through
get through this episode and just
all the bells.
Just keep going.
Not bells and whistles.
Bells. And by the way, my bell's still in my bedroom.
Motherfucker, Molly, you've had enough time.
I'm well enough to say so.
Your office is across the hall from your motherfucking bedroom.
It's not far. Like, it's really not a far journey. I just am that forgetful.
Well,
ADHD!
Next week to see if Molly brings her bell.
Yeah, 50-50 shot. 50-50 shot, my guys.
I would say it's probably 80-20.
Rude. You know what? Respectfully, fuck you.
That's fair. I deserve that.
Valid. So how about a synopsis?
Crazy Rich Asians follows too many characters to count during a summer in Singapore for the wedding of nope, that's not how you say his name. Colin Koo, or of those Koos.
Of course. What other Koos would there be?
Right. Colin and Araminta are nowhere near main characters, though. Whatever.
They're like the Z storyline in this whole thing.
I guess they're more like the catalyst. But anyway, all right. The main characters appear to be Rachel and Nick, a couple who met at a university where they both work as professors in New York City. The two have been dating for 2 years, and this is the first time Rachel will be meeting Nick's family, who up until now she knew nothing about.
2 years of dating, you didn't know shit about his family?
Yeah, that's a big bell ringer for me. Turns out...
Red flag!
Turns out Nick isn't just rich, he's crazy rich. His family
Stupid
is
rich.
so old money that...
Old money people don't talk about them.
They don't even... Can you let me fucking talk?
Sorry, I'm a shit.
The two have been dating for 2 years, and this is the first time Rachel will be meeting Nick's family, who up until now she knew nothing about.
Why?
Turns out Nick isn't just rich and crazy rich, he's crazy rich. His family is so old money that they don't even know how much money they have. Rachel is thrown in the middle of this world filled with intervening, that is the word I meant to type, mothers and grandmothers, jealous ex-girlfriends, and more scheming want-to-be girlfriends. Rachel is clearly not prepared for these Singaporean wealthy families. In addition to this main story, there are many side stories, including Nick's cousin Astrid, whose marriage is falling apart. There you go. That's your synopsis.
What a goddamn story. And this is so long. It's my guy. This guy went to U of H Clear Lake, by the way. He's a U of H Clear Lake graduate.
He can never go back to Singapore, by the way. He skipped out on some military.
Really?
So he can never go back.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So if I can
find the article again, I'll put it in the comments.
That's wild.
Yeah. All right, Molly, let's get it out of the way.
Okay.
Before I ask the question, I just want to say, so I picked this book because it is Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, let's do a book that has many different Asian people in it.
Lots of representation in here.
Right. We have done books that had AAPI before. Mm-hmm. The Astonishing Color of After was also AAPI. So I picked the book because I read it before. And for some reason, I had it in my head that I enjoyed this book the first time I read it. And as I was reading it this time, I was like, what the fuck did I like about this book? So I went to my Goodreads. Turns out I rated it 2 stars.
Guess where my audiobook was from when it was halfway through. I quit it the first time I started it.
Molly.
I don't even remember reading this.
Okay, so I don't remember
reading this.
That's the problem with this book. You DNF'd it and didn't remember. I
remember the movie.
Didn't remember not liking it.
I watched the movie. I loved the movie when I first saw it. So that's why I read the book.
We're going to talk more about the movie later.
Yeah.
I didn't love the movie, but it was better than the book. And that, you heard it here, besties. The movie
was better than the book. And I'm never going to say that again, gang. Never.
I have a few movies that I think are better.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to need a list.
I thought Something Borrowed was better as a movie than it was as a book.
I'll give you that one. I mean, I like
That's taking it all the way back.
First season. That is season 1, and that is our first book fight, gangs. And this will be a book fight for the rest of our lives. Probably.
It's actually our second episode that we ever did, because our first episode's like a 30-minute, who are we? But, yeah. All right, so what did you think about this book?
Boy, oh boy, does this man like to talk. Okay, first and foremost, I get what he was trying to do. I get it. But he keeps dragging on about how fucking wealthy everybody is. Bro, we get it. You're bragging at this point.
You called him crazy rich. We got it.
We got it. Like, you don't need to keep telling me how much shit's worth. If you talk a Bugatti, I know how to Google how much a Bugatti is. I know what Christian Dior costs. Like, you don't have to give me numbers. My guy.
I didn't really realize that there were so many wealthy people in Singapore, which is actually true. That there are, like, the majority, I think it's like the highest percentage of overall wealth. Like,
like per capita, right?
No, like, I think the most billionaires or something is in Singapore. Actually,
interesting.
What's the Facebook guy?
Mark Zuckerberg?
Thank you. He's a Singaporean as well.
Mr. Deadeyes?
I'm pretty sure he's part lizard at this point.
He is a lizard person. Him and Elon Musk. Okay, total sidetrack.
That's like the only time those two are ever going to be, like, compared to each other as, like, that. No.
Total sidetrack. But did you know Elon Musk wants to nuke the ice caps of Mars so we can terraform it? Like, homie can, but he'll get in trouble for making the weapons. He wouldn't get in trouble for putting them into Mars because nobody really owns Mars, but he wants to terraform it.
He can't do that. Well, no. If he did it, he couldn't do it with NASA support because we signed a treaty saying that we would never create a military presence in space, and then we created Space Force.
But the creation of the nuclear bombs is an issue, and like who owns Mars, and it's weird and muddy, and it's consuming my brain.
This has nothing to do with Crazy Rich Asians.
I know. Let's go back to the book. I'm sorry. I took my meds today. I'm just struggling. I was up at 6.
Okay, so did you like it? You never really
asked the question. So here's a book. It was written in 2013. There's a movie about it. So did I like it?
That is the question.
Yes and no. Like, I enjoyed the storylines. I laughed all the way through. I really was glad I got more of Astrid's story. I was a fan of her originally in the movie.
Okay, so I love that you said that. I'm going to hold my thought. Keep going.
And, Nick and Rachel I like more, but I have problems with Nick. And I don't know if this is cultural.
I have a lot of problems.
I don't know if it's cultural, if it's, just him. I don't know if it was how he was written. I don't know. He's a walking red flag, and it's just, or Trust is supposed to be like swooning over this guy, and I'm grossed out. He's completely oblivious to what he's throwing his girlfriend into. He doesn't seem to care that she's uncomfortable, and she has no idea about his family at all. I have issues, and I want to break this pencil.
Well, my biggest issue with this book, okay?
Yeah.
You ready for it?
Uh-huh.
So this book is a part of a trilogy, right? There are 3 books.
Right.
And all 3 of the books focus, quote unquote, around Nick and Rachel.
Right.
You know what they should have done? You know what Kevin Kwan should have done?
What?
He makes a Nick and Rachel story. Then he makes an Astrid and Michael story. Then he makes a whatever the fuck story. Why is this not companion series?
Like,
that would be so much better. That would have made so much more sense. Instead, we have
just stream of consciousness. It's just, and sometimes it does feel like you're in a party and like all the people are talking and you're just listening to the noise of the room. But I don't want that in a book. I don't want that in a book. I go to books because I don't want to extrovert. If I want to extrovert, I will go out. Why are you making a party in a book, my guy?
It felt like to me, like scrolling through Perez Hilton or other gossip
social
sites.
Media.
It's like newsflash, Nick and Rachel, and then you go to newsflash, Astrid and Michael, and it just like it basically was like going down a rabbit hole of celebrity gossip, but people who are not
high
real, that I don't care about, who are crazy
and
rich.
somehow high school gossip at the same time.
Yeah, it was just
people
not
are being
good.
bitchy and ridiculous and like
It was just not good.
Yeah,
I did not like it.
2.
No for me, dog.
It's a hard pass.
All right, so Nick and Rachel are going to see Nick's family for the first time. Should he have prepared her better?
Bing, 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 bing. Oh my god! Like,
did I get enough of them?
Yeah, like.
Do you need me to do more?
I mean, if it'll make you feel better. You want one more for good measure? Okay, there you go. How's that feel? Better? Okay, I'm done now. You're like. It's like you know that scene in Mando where Grogu gets in the battle bot?
No,
he's like,
no. I'm
like the most toddler. That is the most toddler thing I have ever seen. And I'm going to say something controversial, but Mando is my favorite of all of the Star Wars stuff. I love the Mandalorian. Hey, no more bell. Okay, so what was the question?
You're wrong, though. So
go fuck yourself.
Respectfully, fuck you.
Oh, Nick. Okay, my problem is with
the question was, should he have prepared her better?
Yes. Oh my god, yes. And like,
Astrid told him.
Astrid told him. She fucking knew Rachel. Bitch should have told her too. Like, Astrid's to blame too. Like, I mean, they're friends.
Lies by saying that they're comfortable, that he's never really considered himself wealthy. It's his family's money. It's all bullshit.
You're the boy prince. Right. Your grandmother loves nobody as much as she loves you.
Right.
Your mother hired a literal detective to go and search out your potential girlfriend's family from China that she's never met. Right. Like, your family's batshit crazy. They have that kind of money. And you just...
I do feel like...
It wasn't a big deal. Not a big deal. It's like...
So I feel like there are two kinds of wealth, and this book is one of them. Actually, it gives us both of them. So there are two kinds of wealth. There are those people that are wealthy, and they like to let everyone know how wealthy they are. And there are characters in this book, I can't think of his name, but the guy that had the kids and like they had to dress perfectly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and he was played by the stand-up comedian. Yep.
So there's that kind of wealthy.
I'm gonna find it. Yeah.
And well, this is still old money, okay? And then there's old money wealthy that is so wealthy they don't even really acknowledge it. It's just they have all these things, so it's just like, I don't know what you mean. Like, I just have always had it. It's just, and then there's new wealth, which I have that in my notes to talk about later too. But I do think, slightly in Nick's defense, I don't think he really realized that this would be so problematic. Because men are stupid, Molly.
But he knows how his family dresses. He knows this is going to be the most expensive wedding in the world, and he's letting her bring clothes that are not appropriate. He's letting her bring...
His family does not do that. They make a point to talk about at the very beginning that, like, yeah, they buy that hotel, but when they come in, they're walking because why waste money on a taxi? You know, they're all these things. They weren't really showing off their wealth. They just did it. But then there were people like the people who were at Araminta's bachelorette party who were there to show off how wealthy they were.
Yeah. And then there was her friend's parents. You know, played by Awkwafina. What's the character?
Yeah, Peaklin.
Peaklin. Her parents, Peaklin, they were new money too. But they were like our version of rednecks winning the lotto.
Yes.
New money. You know, like...
Yeah, I actually have that in here to talk about, so let's just jump to it. So Rachel's college friend, Peaklin, lives in Singapore, and she's never heard of Nick's family, which is weird. Wild. Even though she comes from a family of new money made from property development. Mm-hmm. So what are your thoughts on her family?
They feel like Annapolis money. You know what I mean? it's accessible. They're more down to earth. It's more comfortable American, like something we would be more comfortable with. They fly commercial. They don't, they don't, they talk about their money, but not in a way that looks down on others. They're just like, haha, we got money. Let's be stupid. Does that make sense?
I disagree. I picture exactly how they're portrayed in the movie. Mm-hmm. They are all about being flashy with their money. They are new money. They are going to tell everybody that they have money. Everything is going to be gold, 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 gold. It very much is somebody winning the lottery who doesn't know how to handle that kind of cash.
I know.
It very much is that.
The joke, I remember the joke Awkwafina made. She goes, Versace, or the Castle of Versailles in Trump's bathroom. It's like Awkwafina.
She stole that movie. She stole it. It was totally her.
She's so fantastic.
She's really great in it. All right, so does this book seem real? Can you even fathom this kind of wealth?
I can't, but I know it's real. It's real.
It's just not a world that I understand.
I had a coastie I knew. I went to boot camp with him, and then later in life, we crossed paths. He came from money. Mm-hmm. And he was a college, level swimmer, and his goals were rescue swimmer. He saw The Guardian and lost his shit.
Not even close to accurate.
Not we'll talk about that later. But he came from money, Connecticut, Yale money, and his mom was sending Clinique and shit, face wash for him and the expensive shit. He would get care packages and they were expensive salon brand shampoos and stuff. And I'm like, homie, I'm using Pert Plus for everything. It's an in and out kind of situation. We get 5 minutes in the shower. What are you doing with your life? And he was still that way. He drove an expensive car. He stayed in E3 as long as possible because he kept trying to get into swim school. And he could. Financially, he could play. He was playing Coast Guard, right? It was a game to him because he has money.
Did he get
in? No, he didn't get it. He didn't get it. He kept getting he got hurt at the unit, and then he couldn't pass the swim trial because he had gained too much weight. And it was just little things. He ended up going SK and then got out 3 years later.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Went to Yale. He's fine. Okay. He's fine. He's going to law school right now. He's not paying for it.
I don't know. Rory Gilmore went to Yale, and she's not doing so great these days.
Rory sleeps with her ex-boyfriend who's married. Yeah. Is she really the person you want to model your life off of?
No, but she went to Yale. That was my example.
So did Paris Geller, and she's scary as shit. Can we go back to this book?
This is not this amount of wealth is not something that I can understand. To me, it just doesn't. I've never been in a place in my life, and I will probably never be in a place in my life
where I'm never going to have this kind of money
where I can just spend and not think about what's in our checking account.
If I ever make it in any kind of money way, it's going to be lotto rich. I am redneck rich. You know what I mean?
Did you play the lotto?
Not enough to say so. I like her. I'm going to scratch her once in a while. And that'll play the Mega Millions if it's up. But no, I'll be redneck rich,
I've never
Beverly Hillbillies 2.0.
Played the lotto where you have to pick your numbers, the real.
We always do the quick picks.
But I've never done anything that wasn't a scratcher. I've never done that you have to wait for the numbers.
Oh. Gambling. On a list of things I'm going to have to teach you to do. I'm your bad influence. I'm doing all the bad influence things for you.
That's enough from you. Right. Colin and Araminta are getting married. Their wedding is the wedding of the season. Based on all we know in this book, is this marriage for love or money?
Love. I think Araminta really does care about him. I think that the show, the dog and pony show, is her parents trying to show off their money. I think Araminta and his name's Colin, right?
Colin.
I think they would have been happy going to Vegas or Atlantic City or like anywhere where they could just elope, you know?
Yeah.
They were doing the big thing for their parents. They wanted to be together. He,
Yeah.
you know, he really loved her. She really loved him. They were really a real couple, I think. But
I think you get the real Araminta and Colin when they come and pick up Nick and Rachel from the airport.
Yes.
They're kind of like in sweats and bummy and like, you know,
they knew
not like a flash.
Araminta and Colin knew after that first day they were going to have to put on a show. The whole summer was going to be a show for that wedding. Mm-hmm. And they knew they were only going to get one day where they got to live normal lives. Right. And Rachel and Nick are the closest thing they get to live a normal life, right? Because, I mean, Nick goes down to the Y and uses her Netflix password. You know what I mean?
That's from the movie.
Oh, shit. God damn. Anyway.
No, I think that it was a marriage of love. I think that they definitely they met in the circles that they ran in, and definitely their parents probably were like, hey.
I mean, yeah, there was probably matchmaking going along, but I really truly thought they cared about each other.
I think so too. And I mean, divorce does not seem to be a thing. I don't know if this is a cultural thing or if it's just in like
I don't know. They're really Christian. They're like real Christian.
But they're not all Christian. So Araminta is Buddhist, but she goes to the Methodist youth group because that's where the wealthy people go. And then somebody else is Hindu and they go to the Methodist youth group too.
For socializing.
Yeah. And by the way, I am Methodist, so.
Yeah. I am a heathen.
I know you are, Molly.
It's okay. I'm good with it, though. I've made right with my gods. There's little things all over. It's fine. I'm being creepy. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's keep going. You know that Minnie Kaling quote from The Office? Sometimes I just talk and I don't know where it's going.
Yeah. Happens at least once every episode.
Yeah. I mean, would you expect anything less?
It's both of us, though. Like, yeah, I'll be talking about
sure.
Like, I don't know.
What was I saying?
All right. Let's talk about Eleanor's Bible study. So, were they right to do a deep dive on Rachel's background given their financial status?
Oh, absolutely not.
So you're telling me you wouldn't be tempted to do background checks on the people who come looking to date your daughter?
Oh, I do. I will Facebook stalk them, but I'm not going to be like hiring a PI every time my girls bring somebody home. Nick brought a girlfriend home and they hired a PI.
Yes, because they have the resources to do that. I don't know. I mean, I think that they were wrong, but I also can understand it. If you have that kind of wealth and you don't know this person, you could definitely be under the impression that what they're looking for is for the money.
Right, but she's been with him 2 years. 2 years.
Yeah, but Nick never told her. He never told his mom.
Right, but he also never told her about the money. Until they fucking got there. So she's not really there.
Wrong for doing it. I completely agree with you. But I do understand it. I get
wanting to protect your child. But
yeah, well, it's not just
But my money doesn't go over my kids. It doesn't.
No, but
it doesn't.
If the opportunity was, hey, this person isn't loving my kid, they're loving the wealth, I might want to know that their motivations were pure.
Right, but my children will be adults by then. And we have to hope that we instill within them the values that we hold and the good sense to know when somebody's using us.
Okay, well, once again, men are stupid.
I also agree to that statement, but that doesn't change my opinion on this argument. Well, discussion.
I do agree with you, though. I understand it, but it's totally wrong. It's gross and dirty.
It is gross. It is. It sucks. It's
not okay. But I mean, I understand her protective nature. I just don't think she handled it the right way.
The man
And
is fucking 30. The man's in his 30s.
Right.
Let him make his own stupid choices.
And the truth is that all those other motherfucking women really want him for the money. They don't want him for him.
The irony was not lost on me.
Yeah. Rachel's the only one that actually wanted him for who he was because she didn't know. She didn't know that the money was option. But very clever. This is the one nod I'm going to give Kevin Kwan. Very clever to make her an economist because she has to do something she has to do something with wealth.
Yeah.
The movie changes it so she's like a mathematician dealing with
game theory. Game theory.
An economist in game theory, and that's more specific, but I know why they did that.
I looked it up. I don't understand it even after reading it, but if you're interested, I will put the links to all the shit I found about game theory in the comments. It's ridiculous, and math is basically dumb. Like murder over math.
It's basically like card counting and things like that. But she's not doing that. I know why they did it in the movie. It's because they needed that last scene with the mahjong tiles. Yeah. But the book, she's just an economist. So she knows money. And so it gives the mom, Eleanor, more ammo to say she's counting the cost of everything in this house. Right. Which Rachel is not doing. But, you know. All right. Let's talk about Astrid. So she's an heiress on both sides of her family, but she marries Michael, who came from modest means. Their marriage is falling apart. What did you think of their story?
Michael's a piece of shit.
What the fuck?
Me?
What the fuck? No, Michael.
Yeah, like what the fuck, man?
He faked an affair?
Like, my guy. Have some balls.
Have some balls.
Have some balls. Have a fucking backbone. Have a backbone. You fucking don't want to be with me? Say it to my goddamn face. Don't be a chicken shit.
Yeah.
If anybody deserved to hire a PI, it was Astrid. That's the only person that should have had a PI the whole time.
Yeah. Their story is just crazy in my head. Like, Michael's jealousy of her is stupid. It's stupid.
And it's not just jealousy. He resents her.
Oh, like, for sure. Well, I mean, I kind of understand why he resents her family. When he's at events, they just start handing him iPads. Like, here, I can't get in this. Fix this for me.
Right. But, like, here's the problem with that.
He's not
Astrid
the IT guy.
Constantly is defending him. Mm-hmm. She is always his champion.
Yeah, because she doesn't give a fuck about any of that. She loves him.
No, she loves him. And he's sitting here treating her like garbage. And it's just, he doesn't deserve her. Astrid is my favorite character in this book. She is sweet and she is kind. Yeah. She deserves more than this whole storyline. Yeah. So much more.
But see, here is why I'm going to defend this again. This is why I think that this needed to be a series of standalones. Because Astrid could be not a minor character, but a character in this book. We may even know about her divorce. Or the fact that Michael isn't showing up to things. And then second
have book, Nick mention it. Be like, where's
Michael? And then in the second book, then you focus on their relationship. And then it makes more sense.
Back. Damn it,
then it makes more sense that Charlie Wu comes into the story. Because after the wedding is over, there's still, as you texted me, 4 hours left in the audiobook. There's still a few hundred pages after the wedding. That book was done. Fucking done.
Done. Where are we going with this? I thought this was about the wedding. Why are we got 4 hours left post-wedding?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me why.
Tell me why.
Ain't nothing but a heartache.
Tell me why.
Ain't nothing but a mistake.
Tell me why.
I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Reminds me of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You seen that scene?
Yes. I forgot what we were doing here.
Murder. I have chills. Oh, right. We're dealing with a murder. It was number 9.
Murder over math. math.
Murder over math. Hashtag murder over math.
Let's make it a thing.
Let's make it a thing, gang.
Let's make it a thing. Don't murder your math teacher. We're not.
No. That's not what I'm saying. We prefer murder in a book over math.
Yes.
Context, kids. Context. Anyway, no. Fuck Michael. Fuck Michael. He's a coward. He didn't deserve Astrid.
And I just feel like Charlie Woo's story, that we are like 200 pages, or we're like 100
so close to the end. Okay. So close to the end.
Like, let's see. It's like 100 pages, and we're flashing back to the 90s when she was dating Charlie Woo. Like, why?
Speaking of, I watched all the end credits. They put Harold, what is his name, from Glee in the end credits as him. They were trying to hint at another goddamn movie. So seriously. What the fuck, my guy?
How many times this episode are you going to say my guy? Should we get time
I don't know.
My guy count?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's better than the ums. I'm a bully.
Oh, here we go. At page 322.
Very interesting.
403 pages. We're now flashing back to the 90s in which she's dating Charlie Woo. So, about...
Why is Charlie even important at this point? We are almost under this book.
That's a whole other story. That's a whole other story. It could have been another book. Okay.
Come on, you guys suck.
All right. So, about the movie.
These guys. Because they're real people.
All right. So, about the movie. So, what's his face from Glee and now Grey's Anatomy? He was supposed to be Charlie Woo in more of the story, okay, in more of the movie. But they cut his scenes because they didn't want it to look like Astrid was leaving her husband for him. But if you read...
Because we can't make Astrid the villain.
Right. But if you read the synopsis of the next couple of books, the next 2 books, you will find out that Astrid and Charlie do get back together.
Right. That's what my assumption was. I was like, oh, she's going to end up with him. Especially when he was like trying to help her get back her husband. What a fucking chivalrous, chivalrous thing?
Yes. That doesn't
sound right.
Okay, moving on. Anyway, so there is supposed to be a second movie. A year ago, or 2021 or 2022, there was an article from then. I was searching when I was watching the movie, and it's supposed to be about those two, Astrid and Charlie. So I don't know if they're actually going to make it. Pandemic changed a lot of things.
I don't know. We're in a writer's strike now. We ain't getting shit till freaking next January.
Yeah. You're doing a lot of interrupting this episode.
I know. I'm really sorry. I'm really on the struggle bus today. I know. I need to go to the timeout chair.
If you go to the timeout chair,
we'll never finish the episode.
Finish the next 20 minutes.
Okay, sorry. As you were saying.
I'm fucking done now. All right, let's talk about the bachelorette party. Rachel is basically tormented on the island. She befriends a doctor. We literally never see this doctor again. What is up with all these women?
And the doctor turns into a lawyer on the movie, and then the lawyer starts bullying her. And
yeah, in the movie, the person that befriends her is the mean person. But that's not right.
And then Astrid saves her, and it's a fucking mess. Okay,
actually, I think the movie did a pretty good job making that a little more seamless.
I liked the doctor. Mm-hmm. I think the storyline
her again.
No, I mean, she was a great ad. She definitely showed that there is air quote normal people in this family, right? Mm-hmm. And having her stick around would have been nice, but just throwing her in and then throwing her out was ridiculous. Well, we did not need that extra storyline. We didn't.
There's another character like that, too, who is also a doctor. We get the character that Peakley's dad...
Peakley's dad talks, too, and he's constantly trying to buy his land.
A flashback of him being saved by Nick's grandpa. What the fuck was the point in that?
You know what's wild?
You know what? I'm going to say something that you say a lot.
Where's the fucking editor?
Where is the editor
That's where I was going with that. If this is how thick this is, and we're sitting here saying these stories could have been cut, what's on the cutting room floor right now? How much bigger was
I'm pretty sure Kevin Kwan was like, no, I'll pay to publish it myself because I'm a crazy rich Asian. Don't worry about it.
Who went AWOL and is definitely going to get court-martialed by the Singapore military if he ever gets picked up.
100%.
They'll do your court-martial. By the way, guys, they will do your court-martial till your dying days. I just read an article about a World War II veteran getting court-martialed for going AWOL.
Cool.
They don't fucking care. The military gets their money back. Okay, so movie. Bachelor party. You tell me. Fish, necessary, unnecessary?
So I felt like the bachelorette party was... I felt like that was a necessary scene. I don't know about the fish or whatever. I don't know if that part was necessary, but the bullying that happened from the other women, I think was necessary because this wasn't just his parents that had an issue with this. I do think it what became a bit excessive, like at the wedding, she finds out that he had a 3-way with 2 of the girls.
Right, like was that fucking necessary?
You know what would have been necessary? One of that character that reveals that asks, does Nick still do the thing with the underside of his tongue? I really want to know what that thing is. Tell me. Give me the details. Because...
Not that kind of book.
Inquiring minds need to know.
Want to know. Not that kind of book. What bothered me about, like, the bachelor party, the fish scene, all that stuff, was the fish scene felt extra violent in a book that's trying to portray a sense of dignity, refinement. You know what I mean? These people are classy. And you're sitting here telling me that one of these girls went and got a fish, gutted it, and wrote in its blood? No, that just doesn't track. Doesn't track. You know, writing in lipstick or nail polish, trashing her room with soap, that tracks. Dead fish, that doesn't track.
Yeah, there's a difference between being catty and being violent.
And the dead fish is a violent act. And I literally recoiled when the first time I saw it in the movie, in the book when I heard it, and I recoiled because it's just... Yeah. It's a threat of violence. When you put something dead in someone's bed, it's a threat of violence. And that does not happen in this. This is not a aggressive book like that. Yeah. Like, we're not talking about the gangs in East Asia. We're not talking about the gangs, right, the criminal activity. We're talking about wealthy people. Wealthy people don't behave this way. They pay people to behave this way. Yes. And then they cover it up. Right.
So Colin's bachelor party. So
ridiculous.
Bernard throws a rager filled with drugs, gambling, and prostitutes. Colin doesn't want any of that. So what did you think about that whole scene?
I feel like that was for Bernard.
100%.
And 100%. And it shows how these families are so intertwined and intermingled.
Yeah, Colin felt like he had to let him do it because of who his dad was.
He dragged them to dog fighting.
Yeah.
Gross, my guy. In 2013.
Also, I just want to know the mechanics of somebody swallowing someone's balls under the water in a hot tub.
I think you would choke.
You would choke and drown at the same time. Like, that's a no for me. I'm out.
Hard pass.
Just sit on the side. Then we can talk.
Calm down. You need to calm down.
That's not what
You're being too much, right? Like,
I just don't want to do it underwater.
Hard pass.
That's how you die.
I would do anything for love, but I won't do that.
Your balls underwater.
No, I won't do that. I would do anything for love.
What the fuck is this episode?
I don't know. Okay, what's our next question?
Well, I just want to say, on a related note, Bernard kind of gets it in the end, pun intended, as he is found in a closet with Kitty Pong's fingers up his ass.
Accuracy.
So, seems like a fitting end for him. All right.
Again, another storyline that wasn't necessary. Kitty Pong.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yikes.
But see, that could have been another story because in the sequels to this, she marries
Make it a short story.
She marries somebody else. And that could have been like that story. She marries somebody like wealthy or something. I don't know. All right. So I wanted to know how the audiobook handled the footnotes. Did you even know there were footnotes?
I didn't even know there were footnotes until you told me about it.
If you're watching online, I'm going to show you guys because this book is very footnotes heavy. So a lot of the footnotes have to do with, so you can see like here at the bottom, a lot of the footnotes have to do with translating the words of what they mean. So did it just tell you the words in English or did it use the words?
It just kind of just threw it in there and then would translate it on the spot.
So it would also tell you like, what abbreviations were and things like that. But my biggest complaint about these footnotes, because I'm the kind of person that needs to read them. Like I feel like you included them for a reason. Kevin Kwan actually inserts himself into the footnotes. There's literally references to like the school that the boys go to where he's like, this is where all the wealthy people went, your author included.
No. This is fiction. You are real life.
You don't get to tell us that this was a school you went to. John Green wrote a book about the school that he went to. He didn't put himself in it.
John Green every season until he's on.
John Green every season until he's on the pod.
But no, don't put yourself in the book. You want to write about yourself? That's nonfiction. It's called a biography. Yeah. This is fiction.
Yeah.
You do not go in here.
Even if you're basing it on something that's reality, you don't get to insert yourself in it. That is weird.
That is weird.
It's weird.
Nobody wants to be a part of your like real life role playing.
Yeah, it's weird. Look, you fled the country. You cannot go back to the country. You don't need to put yourself in the book.
I'm really surprised America hasn't sent you back. They don't like deserters. We have feelings about that here.
I don't
well, I'll have to read the article.
I don't know that they're going after him. I think it's just that, like, you can't.
He left.
Can't come back now.
Or you're going to be in trouble.
Maybe. I don't think he would have gotten asylum. It's not like Singapore. He's wealthy from Singapore, so.
And they're an ally.
I'll have to read the article again. Whatever. I don't know. Movie versus book comparison.
I picked the movie every time. This is the only book I will ever go, I liked the movie more.
No, I think Water for Elephants.
Water for Elephants was better. That water was better.
I think Something Borrowed, the movie was better.
I'll give it to you because I don't want to argue.
I have a couple of ones that I'm like, okay, well, that was good. For me, it cut the bullshit out of this book. And it made more sense. You could have actually turned this into like a nighttime soap opera, like a Grey's Anatomy kind of thing, and it would have been a lot better. But this is, you know what? It doesn't work as a single book.
You know what this vibes as?
What?
What was that show? Damn it! Desperate Housewives.
It's like a telenova, but
Desperate Housewives. It's Desperate Housewives vibe.
Yeah.
It's got that soapy.
It's the Real Housewives of wherever the fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked the movie a lot better. I will say I didn't love the movie. Like, I definitely think that there are better rom-com movies.
I think it was great for representation. I mean, that cast was a beautiful representation of all of the U.S.'s and the world's Asian actors.
But you know what? I thought of something.
Okay.
Sorry, before I tell you that, Awkwafina killed it in that movie. She was by far the best part of it. Like, in a cast that included comedians that, like, are hands down.
Dr. Ken Jeong.
Yeah, like, when you can outstage him, and she did, like, that
she did. I forgot he was in the movie. Yeah, and she was in scenes with him.
I know, me too. So, you remember how in Mercury Pictures Presents, one of the things we talked to Anthony Mara about in the episode last week, well, at the con, but the episode last week, we talked to him about how his character in the book, who is Asian, he's American born Chinese, right? Chinese American. And he's being cast as a Japanese person because nobody really cared about which Asian he was.
As long as he was Asian.
That movie does that. There are many people in that movie that are not Chinese.
Who are playing Korean or Japanese or Taiwanese or Filipino or whatever, man.
All Asian people are not the same.
Seriously.
But I have to say, Hollywood doesn't give enough, and people of color in general, a fair shake, but Asian Americans are really underrepresented in pop culture. And that's actually something we talked to Nikki Payne about, right? They don't even get picked up on dating apps. They're the least likely to. So, so I do think, like, I understand, I guess, why they had to cast people. But if you would have just cast your net wider, you know.
Right. Well, I mean, they could have even dug into the Singaporean, Hollywood movie scene and tried to find actors there. But they were trying to represent the U.S., right? They were trying to show how much Hollywood gets behind this idea. They were trying... They're like, look, we're inclusive! Do you see? You see it in the book? It's people of color! Buy it, because it's people of color. Look, we like people of color. We like people of color.
Did you ever watch the show Superstore?
Yeah.
I can't think of his actual name, but the guy that played Oliver in the movie, he's on Superstore, right?
He plays Korean.
A Korean American. And he plays an undocumented immigrant in the show. He does a terrible British accent. They should have just let him use his American one. It was awful.
Okay.
That's all I have to say about it. Final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I will never finish the series.
No.
Don't ask me to. If you have a book that better represents your culture... And you want us to...
AAPI, but we're looking for anything. We read diverse books.
We read diverse books. We read diverse books. We love diverse books. We are here for it. If you have something you want us to read that you think we won't bag on, message us. Hit us up. Email us.
Or even if you have a book that you really hate, that you want us to
you want us to read something you hate, fucking do that too. We don't care. We want diverse books.
Yeah.
We want your diverse books. We're not sitting here bagging on it because they're POCs. We're bagging on it because it is too fucking long. It is too fucking long. I might cry how long this book was.
Yes, I feel that in my soul.
Okay, next week.
We are going to be talking about this book, Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree.
He reads the audiobook.
He reads the audiobook, and I know you are reading the physical book, and I'm kind of sad because he does a really good job with it.
I gave up the physical book already.
Oh, you did? Okay. That didn't even last a full day, Molly.
My brain is on fire.
You texted me this morning
that was yesterday. Yesterday. No. I swear to God, it was yesterday. I told you I was reading the physical book.
Okay, well,
I don't know where my phone is, but when I find my phone, I'm going to screenshot and prove it to you.
We'll just talk about it off pod. Okay, so next week, this book, Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. I
honestly picked it for a brain break. It's like
a brain break.
It's Seinfeld. It's a story about nothing.
Yes. All right, we'll talk more about it next week, though. Okay, so that's it for me. You have anything else?
I got nothing.
All right, we'll see you next week. Bye. Thank you for joining us on Book Besties. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The views discussed here are those of Molly and April, not those of anyone else. Today's book was Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. Your Book Besties are Molly Biggs and April Watkins. Editing by Thomas Watkins, and music is Sleep Sweetly by Prijita. Don't forget to follow Book Besties on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. If you'd like to contact the Book Besties, please email us at bookbestiespod@gmail.com or visit our website, bookbestiespodcast.com. Until next time, besties, get lost in your favorite book.